If you're getting this warning when you are trying to go through sensor calibration on your Robo E4 Pro, there's a couple things to look at to make sure that we can identify where the issue is happening. The first thing you should do is power your printer off and back on, and failing that, run a factory reset. To do so, go into the Gear menu and then scroll down to see Factory Reset. When you click on that little arrow, it will ask you, are you sure? Click Yes to proceed. Now, if you've done both of those things and you're still getting the error, there's a few other pieces of hardware you want to check. The first thing we're going to look at is the sensor itself. So it's located on the back of the machine here and has that little red light on top. Take a spatula or scraper and slide it under the sensor to see if you can get the light to turn on and off, as you can see here. You do have to be pretty close or it won't work. If you can manually trigger it like that, it means that the sensor is working properly. However, if it is not triggering, go through the process of rewiring or replacing that specific sensor. And we have a different video on that process. Now, if like mine, it is triggering for you, but it's still giving you the error, you can check a couple different things. First, check the sensor's location. Notice there are 2 screws at the top here, which you can use an Allen wrench to loosen. With them loosened, you can then adjust the position of the sensor up or down. So try moving the sensor as low as it will go and retightening those screws. Try rerunning sensor calibration again before continuing with this next step. If after lowering it completely you're still getting the error, we want you to check another thing. So, make sure that you have unloaded your filament and powered off your 3D printer. With the printer powered off, make sure you give it time for the extruder itself to cool, or use pliers to remove it. In order to remove the extruder, you're going to slide the Allen wrench into the opening here and rotate to loosen a set screw here. Now, using either your hands or pliers, depending on the heat of the extruder, you can simply wiggle it down and remove it. Once the extruder has fully cooled, you should be able to hold it up and see if there's any wiggle to it. Notice how I can push and pull mine apart. You want to push yours as close together as it can go. Now, there are a few sort of support beams depending on your model of extruder assembly, and so you just want to line those up with the holes in the bottom as best you can. Now, with it pushed more together so it's a little bit tighter and overlapping some of the rings like you can see here, you'll want to tighten the set screw that is part of the extruder assembly. Again, I'm just applying some force with my hands to hold it steady while I tighten the set screw. Once it's been tightened, you can reinstall it back into your 3D printer. Simply push up as far as you can go and then secure with the hidden set screw that lives inside this slot. Once it's been reinstalled, power your 3D printer back on. Anytime you either replace or move the sensor or the extruder assembly, you're going to want to make sure you go into the Tools menu, Calibration, and then rerun both the Z-axis and sensor calibration. This will make sure that you are setting up your printer for success prior to trying to print.